want to share with you guys a story about a guy named John who saved my life. What's up, you guys? Welcome back for another video to Recalibrate with Raw Natty Nate, aka the Nice Cream King, coming to you live with the Raw Food Thing. Just want to share this story with you guys about John. I met John on a ski lift one day. I was skiing by myself. I was snowboarding actually at the time. And when you're by yourself, there's a line for singles. So I hop in the single line, and this other guy joined up with me because he was also a single. So we rode up on the lift together, and he started asking me questions, just kind of like what I did for a living. And I told him what I did for a living. At the time, I was a medical assistant in a pulmonary clinic. And I told him what I did before that was I was a nurse's aide in a cardiac unit, in the ICU, an intensive care unit. And both of those were pretty fun jobs in a lot of ways, pretty intense jobs at the same time. What I got to see, the different patients that I helped take care of and what they were going through, it definitely switched gears in my head as far as how I want to live my life, to get the best out of life that I could. We all make these choices every single day by what we put into our body, because about 97% of the people that were in these units, not necessarily the ICU. ICU was a little more intense, like people from car accidents and such. I worked primarily in the cardiac unit. So we would have patients come up from OR, the operating room, right out of their heart surgery. What I did was I would help the nurses with that patient. And 97% of these people that would come into these units or have to have surgery were there by choice, and not like it was their choice to have the heart surgery. It was something that they had to do because of the choices that they had made over a lifetime. And those choices being what they were feeding themselves. When I was at that unit, that's when I became plant-based. And the story of why I became plant-based was, let me back up. Let me tell you guys the whole story. So the whole story goes like this. I'm just living your standard American life. I'm eating chips, I'm drinking beer. I'm living a pretty clean life compared to other people that I knew who were indulging in harder drugs or drinking heavily on a daily basis. I mean, I'd have a beer on the weekend, or maybe if we would go over to a friend's house for a barbecue or something like that. But I was eating lots of meat, lots of flesh. You know, it's flesh. It's flesh. It's dead parts of another creature. I'm just doing the normal thing. The normal thing being like you buy a whole grocery shopping basket full of groceries at the store. You've got crackers, maybe some cookies every once in a while, some ice cream, some chips, pasta, beans, maybe some rice, a whole bunch of meat, dead flesh, we'll call it, a whole bunch of pus in different forms. That pus being milk, cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese, right? These are the things that we would stock in our fridge. Of course, we would have some fruits and vegetables in there too. And, we'd want to get those fruits and vegetables because, right, it's a part of having a healthy, whole, balanced diet. So we lived pretty well in a lot of ways. Like we would have our starch, we would have our protein, we would have our vegetable, steamed vegetable. And that was pretty much how the meals were shaped. But as I'm working in this cardiac unit, time was going on. I'm not exercising on a daily basis. I didn't play a lot of sports in school. I wasn't a very competitive individual growing up. I rode my dirt bike and I went hiking, and that's a solo. Those are solo activities. I would go hiking with my dog, and I would go dirt biking, maybe with a couple of friends, or a lot of times even just by myself. So I just wasn't in a real competitive mindset, and I wasn't a real athletic kind of person. I did play some sports, played football growing up, played t-ball, didn't play baseball. Baseball, probably would have been a pretty good one to get into. I really sucked at basketball, so I didn't play basketball, and these are kind of the main sports that you play in school. I did join the swim team for a little bit. Also, we started a golf team in high school, so we played some golf in high school, which that was really fun. But I wasn't very athletic. I wasn't using my body, like pushing my body to the limits of where it needed to go. And I was eating a lot of junk food and a lot of food-like products, basically. I had a total sweet tooth. I was super hooked on ice cream, and I loved donuts and cookies dipped in milk. It's easy to take down a whole pack of Oreos if you let yourself. I mean, I can't say that I actually sat down and ate an entire package of Oreos, but it came pretty darn close. Like definitely, I think a regular pack had 3 rows. I maybe cleared out 2 rows. This is who I was, man. I mean, I had a sweet tooth. I loved cake. Every bite of cake with the frosting mixed with the ice cream. Oh, I love that stuff. I like savory stuff too. Mashed potatoes, a bunch of gravy all over the dead bird, at Thanksgiving. And this was just my life. And I got really sick one year, and I was laying up in bed for a good couple weeks. And that's when I came across, I started to get on YouTube. This was 2011 to 2012. It was the switch of the year. It was over the new year. And I got on YouTube and started just binge watching YouTube, and I found Dan the Man, Life Regenerator. And I really started to watch him. I liked him. I liked his style, and he reminded me of somebody who would go to the hippie festivals that I would attend to growing up. Because before I was a medical assistant or a nurse's aide, I blew glass. I blew smoking accessories, right? So I had a lathe. I would spin out water pipes, and that's what I did for 15 years right out of high school. So I would go to these festivals and these events, and I would meet people like Dan the Man, who's just throwing down super high energy and just loving whatever he's doing, and we would sell our wares. Sometimes we're camping next to people like that. So I really felt a connection with Dan the Man. So I started watching him, and he's all into juicing. He was super into juicing. He cleared himself from doing all kinds of hard drugs. He was really stuck on hard drugs and such. And I binged watched his stuff. I found Durian Ryder and Freely the Banana Girl. Didn't really know who Freely was. It was more Durian Ryder that I was watching. And a lot of this stuff started making sense as far as what I was ingesting on a daily basis. I'm eating just crap food, barbecue, lots of beer, getting fat, and I'm looking at different friends and family members and friends' fathers and thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going down the same exact road because I'm doing the same exact thing as these guys. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm leading the life that they're leading right now. And of course, I'm inspired by these men that I'd be around, different construction workers or people in life, and that's just kind of like you become who you're surrounded by, right? You become who like the saying goes, you become like the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most, something along the lines. You guys probably have heard something like that. And that's what I was doing. I was becoming like these individuals. So there I am laying in bed and I'm watching YouTube and I'm thinking, man, like I need to do something different. I should change my life up. Of course, I'm sick. I'm laying in bed. Like literally that was the last time that I had the flu that bad. That was 2011, 2012. Here we are. We're in quarantine right now. I'm quarantining myself out in nature. This is a pretty intense time. We're middle of April 2020. So if you guys are watching this in the future, you guys will remember back April 2020. We are locked down because of this virus, the coronavirus right now. So anyways, I did not want to lead this life of being sick and having a weak immune system. And of course, doing what I was doing, eating the way I was eating, I was not helping my immune system. So I also came across this other guy, Joe Cross. Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead was the name of the documentary. And I watched that documentary. And from that point on, man, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a juicer and I'm going vegan. And so that's what I did. I got my juicer and I became vegan. And, it's kind of interesting because I was vegan for maybe a couple of months. So, say Freely or certain individuals will say you weren't really vegan because you didn't stay vegan. You didn't make the ethical connection. Once you make that ethical connection, you cannot go back to eating animals. Once you make the ethical connection and you start to really research on how to get yourself healthy from the plants, right? There actually is a lot of food right here behind me. It's all about relearning. It's relearning what the natives once knew. So there I was. I'm vegan for a couple months. It was a really hard change. I ended up stopping. I ended up stopping it. I juiced for a couple months and I felt great. I felt really good, but I put the blinders back on, man. I just put them right back on. It's just so much easier just to go to the barbecue and have some drinks with some friends, and you're hanging out with all your people, and it's what everybody does. So it's just so much easier. It just seems normal. And, you know, I didn't want to not be normal, and I didn't want to lose friends because of what I decide to eat or what I don't want to be around, or I don't want to see them eating dead animals. And so I put the blinders back on, you guys, and I just went back to eating animals and drinking pus and eating solidified pus, cheese and ice cream. And I did that for a couple years. It was 2012 to 2014. 2 more years. In that time, I watched Earthlings. I watched Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy is about the environmental impacts that we're making as a collective when we choose to eat these animal products. And I just went back to sleep, you guys. I just fully went back to sleep. I didn't want to look at the information. I didn't want to pay attention to it. It's painful. And it tastes good, like eating hot dogs. And, you know, maybe you go to Costco and you get that Italian sausage hot dog. It's delicious, right? I mean, I don't want to give that stuff up. And, you know, donuts and cream cheese frosting on my cinnamon roll. Man, these are the things that it's like, this is what a lot of times what we live for. We live for these things because they're so addictive. So I'm moving this around you because the sun's like following me around. The sun's following me, guys. Hey, look at there. That's pretty nice lighting. So anyways, that's what I was doing, you guys. I was just doing that thing, man. I was just living life like anybody else would, eating whatever everybody else is eating. And this is kind of a rant. Maybe I should put this in on a little rant topic, because, you know, I'm getting off track a little bit. But either way, I just wanted to share with you guys the story. So here I was, put the blinders back on, I'm back to sleep. And my son at the time, he ends up making the connection. Can I get this there. All right, that's not bad. So anyways, my son makes the connection, the vegan connection. I wanted to be vegan. They saw me become vegan, or I should say plant-based. It wasn't vegan. Who are we fooling ourselves? If vegan is an ethical stance, I was not vegan. I was plant-based. So my kid sees me plant-based. I have 2 kids, 2 sons. At the time, they're like, I don't know, 9 and 11, somewhere around in there. And my mom ends up getting diagnosed with kidney cancer, her second bout of kidney cancer. And at that point in time, I'm like, hey, Mom, you should watch Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. This guy changes his whole lifestyle and just juices, and he heals himself from all kinds of different issues, just juicing, you know, check him out. And that got her going down the rabbit hole, or climbing the truth ladder, I should say, on figuring out how she could heal herself naturally. She went along with that protocol, juicing, and we sent her to Gerson. She followed a few other protocols, and ended up eventually reversing her cancer. And in this process of her wanting to heal herself, she would say, I'm already healed. I just have to do the work. And I'm like, man, that's exactly how you will heal yourself. I'm a firm believer in the power of the mind, and she set her mindset up to where she was healed. She just had to do the work. And I'm like, all right, Mom, when you find out the proper combination on how to heal yourself, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to do what you're doing. And in that time, my youngest son ended up making the decision to go vegan himself. He did not want cancer, so he stopped eating all sugar. He stopped eating all gluten. He started to be, you know, a lot more diligent about what he was choosing to, you know, to ingest, to eat. That really woke me up too, because I'm like, man, here he's doing exactly what I should be doing. I should be making these connections. I should go plant-based. I should become vegan. I should make this ethical connection. I saw Earthlings and Cowspiracy. I'm seeing in these documentaries, if these documentaries are the truth, which any documentary that's done really well can definitely sway your mindset. And that's what happened. My mindset was swayed that I'm not helping the environment or myself or these animals by choosing the choices that I keep choosing, if that makes sense. So my kid made the connection. He's 11 at the time. My oldest is 13. They're 2 years apart. So he makes the connection. He goes vegan. And my mom heals herself. That's when I decided to go along with him, to become vegan. And I started really watching a lot more about the animal agriculture industry and what's happening globally with our environment. And I made the connection. I took the blinders back off and was like, all right, this is the real deal. We got to switch it up. We have to evolve as a collective whole, as a society, as humanity. We have to evolve. So I'm needing to, right? You know how the saying goes, be the change you want to see in the world. So I'm being the change I want to see. I want to see myself be healthier. I don't want to be in the hospital bed with heart disease and have to get heart surgery. So I become vegan. And in that process, in that time, my mom finds out her cure, raw foods, going completely raw vegan. And I had said to her, I said to myself, Nate, you need to do what your mom's doing. Your grandpa's died of cancer. Your grandma's died of cancer. A couple aunt and uncles have cancer. Here, your mom's got cancer. You're probably going to get cancer, man. That's what I'd tell myself. One of my jokes would be like, yeah, everybody gets cancer. There's no escaping it. It seems like swallowing our own spit, our own saliva. We're going to get cancer. Like, are we just cancerous by nature? Is that how it goes? Or is it because of what we constantly put into our system? So she reverses her cancer, her kidney cancer. And she has a YouTube. I did an interview with her. I really try to get her on because I'd like her to talk more about a lot of what she's gone through and where her mindset is and how she's doing now. But she has a YouTube channel. I'll put the link in here somewhere, and you can go check out the interview that I did with her talking about her protocol and what she went through to reverse her cancer. So even seeing my mom reverse her cancer still wasn't enough for me to go raw vegan. And it wasn't until it was about 8 months later, I'm on the ski lift, right? She got cleared. I think it came back in like August. Maybe it was, July or August. Let's see, August, September, October, November. I think it was around there, July or August. It wasn't until the following March when I'm on the ski lift with this guy, John. And he's asking me all these questions about who I am and what I do. And I'm just talking. I'm just answering all these questions. And come to find out, I'm telling him about my mom. And he says to me, he's all, yeah. And I'm like, well, Mom, she had kidney cancer and reversed her kidney cancer by going raw vegan. And he said, yeah, that's crazy. He's all, I reversed my my stage 4 colorectal cancer, colon cancer, at the age of 42. And I've been a raw foodie for 44 years since then. And I'm like, you're 86? 86, bro. You're 86. And he's all, yeah. Here I am. About what? Well, how old was I? I was in my later 30s at the time. 37 or something, or 38. And here he is, 86 years old, on the ski lift, getting ready to rage the mountain. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me, man. You're 86 years old. And he's all, yeah, just living foods. I eat a lot of sprouts. And, he started talking about his protocol, what he did. He didn't do anything extreme. He just cut out all the BS, all the food-like products, everything. If it wasn't living, he wasn't eating it. Living, it's really tricky to eat everything living. Like, unless you have orange trees you can pick oranges right off of, because as soon as it's picked and is shipped in a box, it's like not necessarily alive anymore, right? But he ate lots of sprouts, a lot of sprouted foods, lots of wild greens he would forage out in the woods. He started to learn a lot about what the natives knew about foraging and eating living foods. And he didn't eat any animal products. And that was incredible for me. I related to him more so than my mom, because he's a guy, he's 86, he's skiing, and I don't know what it was. It really hit me. I think the part that really hit me, you guys, was I told him, I was like, yeah, I told my mom I'd listen to her and I would become vegan. I would follow what she's doing when she finds the cure. And we're getting ready to get off the lift, the ski lift. And he didn't remove his goggles the whole time. And right then he just takes his goggles up and he's like, looks right in my eyes and he's like, you should listen to your mom, Nate. And puts his goggles back on. And I was like, phew. Like it almost kind of chokes me up a little bit just talking about it, because it's one of those moments, where someone looks just like pierces into you, like through your soul, almost like I was talking to myself from my older self or something. I mean, if we're all one, right? I mean, I am him, he is me, and we're all one. But it was an incredible, like, it gave me chills through my body. And I get off the lift and I give him a hug and was like, I will never forget you, John. I'll never forget you. You're incredible. On the ski lift, I actually asked him before we got off. I was like, how's the flagpole? As a dude, right? How's the flagpole? And he's like, oh yeah, still able to raise my flagpole. I'm like, no way. Oh my gosh, man. Because see, working in the cardiac unit, you come to realize that you guys know the coffee stir sticks, the little black coffee stir straws. That is the size of our artery going to the member, our private area, right? For a male or a female. And the aorta going into our heart is like the size of a big smoothie straw, or like a McDonald's straw. I don't know if maybe some of you guys have never had McDonald's, but McDonald's has straws that are bigger than just your normal straw. So it's, millimeters. If you were to go millimeters, it's like, maybe 8 to 10 millimeters for our aorta. And then you have like maybe anywhere from like a 2 to 4 millimeter for our member, our privates, right? And so those ones get clogged first. So erectile dysfunction, or women will dry up. And I don't spend a lot of time researching on this kind of stuff, but it's blood flow, right? It's the blood flow. So if the blood's not flowing the way that it should, those kind of things are going to be affected first, because it's a smaller straw that it has to go to. And of course, it's the bigger one's going into the heart. That one's more important. So that one's going to show the signs later. So here he is. He's 86. He reversed his colorectal cancer, which is, that's up there. That's like in the top 5 of the leading causes of death is colon cancer, right? Because we're full of shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't go to the bathroom regularly. It's not coming out the way that it should. It's because there's so much stuff that we're putting in that's moving through the tube so slowly. So all of these things are just making sense. All the stuff that I'd researched over the years, understanding about raw foods, understanding about veganism, and understanding about karma. Like we're putting all this dead crap into ourselves. I mean, it's no wonder we're so sick. So get off the lift, try to follow him down the hill, man. And this guy, he'd been skiing since he was 7. So I couldn't keep up with this guy, man. He was gone. And never saw him again. Like I looked for him. I think I went up one more time that season, and I didn't see him. I've never seen him after that. So, part of me is like, was that a dream? Like, did that really happen? But either way, man, like I went home after meeting John. John was it for me. John was the catalyst for me to just make the change, man. Like I was over it. I'd already been eating plant-based. I was eating all the plant-based foods. I was eating all the vegan foods. Like there's sweet chili Doritos are vegan. There's a lot of products out there that are vegan by accident. And I still could have my Oreos with my chocolate cashew milk and my vegan ice cream. And oh man, I wasn't doing that great. I wasn't trimming down, and I wasn't feeling that great. I'm eating mock meats with mock cheeses. These are great. These are such great foods for people to transition and get off of animal products and still have their cake and eat it too, so to speak, right? But I wanted to be healthy, man. Like for me personally, I want to fucking ski when I'm 86 years old. I don't want to be on oxygen, barely able to move when I'm in my 70s. So what's important about this story is that it was at that point in time that I knew I was done, completely done with anything that wasn't from the earth, directly from the earth. If it was highly processed, I wasn't going to indulge in those kind of things or consume those kind of products ever again. I just made it up in my mind. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care that I'm not going to have a piece of pizza or a real cheeseburger, or some French fries ever again. I'm not going to miss it, because if you really chew it and you're chewing like, the flavor, right? It's all about the flavor. It's not doing anything good for my internal self. It's not doing anything good for my spiritual self, because I feel shitty about myself after I eat all this crap. So that was it for me. John, this guy, John. I'd watch my mom heal herself from kidney cancer, you guys. That should be enough to make the change. It's interesting how it takes so much time for us to make the connection and make the change. And maybe it's different for certain individuals. Maybe they don't need that much, but that's what I needed. I needed to meet that guy, John. So I met him, and that's what switched it up for me, man. I came home and it was a no-brainer. I was like, all right, how can I do this? How can I become a raw vegan? What do I have to do to eat healthy foods predominantly? How can it taste good? What can I do? And I started binge watching YouTube again, right? I'm finding out who's who in the raw vegan world. Who's who out there? All right, I find Fully Raw Christina. All right, cool. She's got her gig. I found John Rose. He's got his gig. I knew about Robert Morris, and I knew about his gig, and all these individuals they have. It's kind of extreme. And I'm not dying of cancer. I'm not at this level where I feel like I need to go on this incredible fast, right? Some people go on these fasts for 20, 30, 40 days, 100 and some odd days where they drink nothing but juice. And I had an understanding about fiber and how important fiber is and how important our gut bacteria is. And I'm not fighting for my life. I just need to change my stuff up a little bit. So that's when I found Lissa, you guys. I found Lissa on YouTube, and I started watching her videos, and I really liked her style. I liked what she was talking about. She didn't have this like shove it down your throat, and she wasn't like helping really sick people like Robert Morris. The people who go to Robert Morris, man, like they're sick and they're on the verge. They're like where my mom was. They're pulling at their last strings trying to heal themselves. I'm not. At this point in time, I'm getting off the ski hill. I can still touch my toes. I'm trying to exercise. It's just like I've never been a person to geek out on exercise, which I wish I could be hypnotized and get that in my life and be obsessed with yoga and working out. That's something I have to, I'm still striving to incorporate that regimen in my life every single day. There's times where I do really good for months at a time, and then I fall off. I get off the trail, for a few days at a time, and I'm like, I need to get back on that. I was feeling so good working out. And that's kind of how it is with changing up your lifestyle. This lifestyle of whatever we choose to eat and to consume is so huge, you guys, because we have so many options at our fingertips everywhere. I'm getting some sun rays here. See if I can turn try to find some cool lighting. I'm trying not to look at myself in the camera. I'm trying to look at you guys. But let's see where we're at. Let me come back over here. Is this, I don't know, it's kind of dark. There, ooh, perfect. This is where I wanted it to be in the beginning. So anyways, you guys, that's what I did. I found Lissa, and Lissa in a lot of ways saved my life because she was able to make, let me get my truck over there. Stopped here for a little fire, just out in the woods. So she was able to make it fun and interesting and delicious looking, right? She's a pro photographer, so her pictures looked amazing. And she had a book, a recipe book, a 30-day meal plan. Now that's 30 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not one of those days are the same. So essentially, if I bought her book, I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna have 90 recipes to choose from. And I knew about fasting, and I knew about mono meal. I knew about a lot of this stuff because I'm searching for this health, right? I'm on this health journey. How can I live this vibrant, healthy life? And I thought 90 recipes with shopping list. Nate, this is a no-brainer. Get her book. So I bought her book. I followed her book, followed it for a good 5 months. I shed over 60 pounds, you guys. 63 pounds, or it was 67 pounds. I can't remember. I got down pretty low because I was going through some real intense things at that time. I was going through a divorce. At that point in time, we were together for 25 years. I got together with her when I was 15 years old. I'm going through a lot of stuff. You know, it's really stressful. Going through a divorce is stressful. Leaving your lifelong partner, separating from your lifelong partner is very stressful. And here I am, I'm changing my whole diet and lifestyle. I want to live healthier. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to be around any of that. And that's a lot of, in a way that ties into why I was leaving my ex. Is when you're with someone for so long, that's a whole nother topic. I could get into relationships and you know what I learned. If you guys are into wanting to know a little bit more about that, I'll totally make a video about that. Leave me a comment in the section below. So anyways, whatever the case was, I started out at like vegan when I was on the lift with John. I think it was about 213 pounds. And I'm 5'7", you guys. 213 pounds on a 5'7" frame. That's not a healthy frame. That's not a healthy weight to have on that kind of a frame. So I got down to 145. 145 was my lowest. I sit right now as I stand before you 157. 157, and I'm not like, I mean, I don't necessarily watch my weight all the time. Like, oh my gosh, what's my weight? I know where I want to feel. I want to be able to just play in life. Like, I love to be outside. I love to mountain bike and hike and swim and go kayaking and rafting. And I like doing outdoor stuff. I like moving my body in space. And to do that, you have to be healthy. It doesn't necessarily matter the weight, right? As long as you have the endurance and you're healthy and you can breathe, right? So yeah, you guys, I followed her recipe book, and that was it for me, man. I stuck with it. And the story of how we got together, we have posted on, I believe it's on her YouTube. I don't think I have it on my YouTube, but I met her friend, Jack Albright from Raw Tropical Living at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and shared my story and showed him pictures, my before and after pictures. And he messaged, he's like, I gotta message her like right now. She needs to interview you as a testimonial for her book. You're a great testimonial story. And that's how we met. I came back from Woodstock. I sent her my pictures and I told her how much I loved her and how much what she did by changing her life and by creating this beautiful recipe book and a plan to follow. You see, you guys, that was what I was needing. Was I needed a plan that resonated with me, that I could follow. And it wasn't strict. It wasn't restricting myself and only eating this many hours out of the day and making sure I get enough, juices and juicing all day long. I didn't want to live that life. Now, there's nothing against juicing and fasting and that whole detox mentality that is there. It's a whole community. There's a whole detox community. If you get a pimple, you're like, oh, I got a detox. Or if you fart, you're like, I got a detox. These are, in my perspective, like we're this far into the video. If you've stuck through the video this long, I'm going to just speak frankly. This, to me, is a very unhealthy mindset to have. I love all my friends and all my homies and the people that are on that journey. And if one of you guys are watching this video, you know who I am. You know I wear my heart on my sleeve. I fucking love you guys. I really do. I just didn't want to live that life. I don't necessarily want to live in that restrictive mindset. And that's where Lissa's books, after I bought the one, I came back, met Jack at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, messaged Lissa. We set up for an interview and we hit it off, man. We hit it off. And I was split up with my ex at the time. It had been probably, I don't know, 8 months or something. We were split up. And, so it was kind of fast in a way, but Lissa and I just became friends, and we started talking every single day for a good 4 months before we actually met, or maybe it was 5 months before we actually met in person. And we would talk, we would rant about things, and we would just talk about stuff. We became really close friends, and I bought her plant-based dips and dressings book, which is a book that I use every single day. We just made a dressing. We'll make a video. She's actually out like in the forest over there making videos. We made a video of making our salad on the tailgate, and we just have a lot of fun together. We live the same life, and I can only hope that whoever's watching this far into the video, that you guys are able to live the same life that you want, which is whatever it is that you want. I want whatever you guys want that's going to make you happy. And to me, it was just so incredible that how it all lines up. If Lissa wouldn't have changed her life, I mean, if you guys know, maybe you don't know who Lissa is. She's Raw Food Romance on YouTube, and you can check out her transformation story. She's incredible. Like, she dropped over 70 pounds. She had acne, and she had all kinds of really intense stuff. She was an alcoholic, and she had a really hard time. But she changed her life. I'm going to go over here again. So I got to switch it up for you guys, man. I can't be always in the same spot, right? So she changed her life up, you guys. And if she hadn't have changed her life up the way that she did and make the changes that she made and created the book that she created, it wouldn't have helped me. I would have done something different, because who knows how it all works out, right? But I wouldn't have found her book. I mean, maybe I still met John, but I wouldn't have found Lissa. I wouldn't have found her book. Who knows how I would be eating. I knew who Tanny Raw was. I know who Jack Albright was. I know who these people were and the way they were eating, and it made sense to me. All right, it's simple. Like, just eat fruit, and eat your greens. I'm trying to find it to where, I don't know, it probably doesn't matter. I've got some sun rays in my face here, but like I said, I'm trying not to look at myself in the screen. I'm trying to look at you guys. I want to look right at you guys. So, you guys, I just wanted to throw down this video, this story. I know I'm like maybe rambling around a little bit, but it's just kind of how I flow. I want to get more structured and be able to rock videos, a little more eloquently rather than just rambling. But in a way, I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's standing right here with me and sharing the story, and this is the story about John and how John was it for me. I met that guy when he took off his goggles and was like, "You should listen to your mom, Nate." Because my mom was telling me I should eat raw foods. She was like, "You should at least, cut out all the animals. Stop drinking milk." And she was so frustrated at herself that she raised me the way that she raised me, because she didn't know any better. She would cry. She'd be so bummed out that she raised me the way that she did, because she was finding out through healing herself that she'd been lied to, and she'd been doing things just all wrong. Wrong in the sense of just not understanding how we should be fueling ourselves and feeding ourselves. And of course, there's so many more spokes in the wheel to living a beautifully balanced and healthy, happy lifestyle than just what we eat, right? It's incredible. Like, sleep is so important. Meditation, like just sitting still and just hearing the breeze and these trees real quick and the birds, like that kind of stuff. Oh, it's so good. It's so centering and grounding. And there's a lot more that goes into what we feed ourselves. But what we feed ourselves, you guys, man, it's incredible how many how many things we have access to in the world for so cheap, and it's everywhere. Like right now, we're on this lockdown, this quarantine, and liquor stores are open, and fast food drive-thrus are open. Like there's this new one called Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. It's so weird. We're trying to figure out, like, where did they come up with that name? And it's brand new here in Southern Oregon, and it's like, you know, it's a big thing in California, back east or whatever, all over the nation, right? And they are packed with people. Every time we go into town to go grocery shopping, there's like 12, there's actually 2 drive-thrus before it bottlenecks into one to pick up your food. And or food-like products, I should say, because none of it is food. It's food-like products. Like, you know, you can't even sustain life on eating Chick-fil-A. Like once in a while maybe, but that's not a sustainable food-like product. It's incredible, you guys. It's so sad, because here we are, we have this pandemic that's happening. People are locked in their houses and wearing face masks and freaked out that we're all going to contaminate each other and everybody's going to possibly die or contract this. But yet we're filling ourselves full of this just total bullshit. Just bullshit food. It's not even real food. But they're open. Liquor stores and fast food places are open. It boggles my mind. Like they shut down the farmer's market, right? Like it's outside. You could wear a face mask and you can go get your lettuce and your tomatoes and cucumbers. They shut that down. But fast food is open. Liquor stores are open. What's going on? What the fuck is going on? Really? You guys. Like, it's just incredible. There's something going on in a lot of different ways, and we don't have control of much, but we do have control of our thoughts, and we have control on what we feed ourselves, what kind of food do we put into our system, and we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of potential to make this place a better world, and this place, like the temple, a better world, right? So you guys, I don't know what else I could throw in there. I hope you guys gathered something from this. Oh, we came out here for a little picnic and we have our phones and we're like, let's make some YouTubes. And it's middle of April, 2020. And yeah, whatever the case is, just wanted to wrap with you guys. I love all you guys. I hope that this finds you well. And if you stayed this long, give yourselves a thumbs up. You fucking rock stars. Yeah, how to end the video. I never really know how to end the video, you know, like, subscribe, all that stuff if you feel like it. Leave me a comment below. I love your comments that you guys leave me. You know, direct messages. I'm on Instagram. Nice Cream King. A story for another time. You guys, anyways, enjoy the rest of the day. I love all you guys. Until next time, peace.